Hello and welcome to Mr. D explaining another lesson for you. Today I'm going to be explaining the recycling factory lesson, which you can see right over there. All right, so here we go. You are going to be pretending like you are owning a recycling factory, meaning they take all these materials, they give them to you, and you recycle them. You change them into their raw materials and you ship them out and you send them on their way. You have been contracted by the city of Warminster because they have a huge problem. A huge truckload of materials have been ground into a fine powder, and they need you to recycle them to make it so that they can separate each of these out so they can get the materials back. Okay, not too big a deal. There are several parts to this lesson that I want to show you. Step number one, there is the intro here, which just talks about the scenario. This tells you how you own a recycling factory and you are given a dump truck full of recycled materials. However, somebody ground them all into a fine powder. That means you can't filter them. That means it's all the same crumbly stuff. So you can't get it by hand. And not only that, but they dump the whole thing into a solution of flammable liquid ethanol and salt water, and they want the salt and ethanol recovered too for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. It's your job. So you have at your factory all of these materials here. You have a large centrifuge, a distillation tank, lots of tanks that can be filled with liquids, several powerful and controllable magnets, heaters, conveyor belts to move everything around, and nets that can skim the top or dredge the bottom. Uh, Quick freeze, which is a water-based crystallizing agent, concentrated sugar water with a set density of 1.5, and pure water with a set density of 1.00 gram per cubic centimeter. So you have all of this. Then it goes over to tell you these are all the materials that you have. You have salt, water, ethanol, milk jugs, steel cans, soda bottles, and aluminum cans. Now remember, all of these things have been ground into a fine powder. So it's not like you're picking cans out of this. It's all a fine powder. It's all this crumbly, sandy stuff, like a whole huge truck full of it. Your job is to separate it. Now, the types tell you what they are, whether they're plastic, metals, ionic, etc. Densities are provided, whether it ignites, whether it dissolves in water, whether it's magnetic. What are its various heating points, melting or boiling, whether they want it, and they do want everything recovered except for the water. And they've given you the address for your factory and the address for the client. And you'll need this if you want to make it a proper business letter, because business letters need the addresses. All right, so here you go. You need a diagram, you need a solution, you need to have your convention, you need to have format. So whether it's basic paragraphs, a casual letter, or business letter, whether there are lots of errors, some errors, or none, whether everything was not really separated, whether all of it was separated, but there's some minor little issues that make it from being perfect, and everything separated perfectly. Now, over the years, and I've done this for years and years now, I have found only two proper ways to get this all separated efficiently. So maybe you will come up with number three, but more than likely there's only two ways, two. Uh, and is your diagram advanced and effective? You also have a chance at extra credit, but as we all know, that is very rare, only for the most beautiful artwork, perfect process, professional work, and if there's extra information that you've included. This video can be found here at this link, and you put your names here. The normal notes for students are all here: how you rename it, week 4 recycling factory, your last names, and then the class code, which remember is right up here at this link. Make sure each of you include your name at the bottom of the rubric right over here, and each of you need to add something meaningful, something that matters, or you will not get a grade. Share the final document with me, and remember, this is a group assignment. Only one of you needs to share it, but make sure it does, whether it's the team leader or just one of you. I've given you a space for you to write your letter here, and I've given you a space for you to draw your diagram. Now, this is just a random flow chart that I put here because this is like sort of what I'm looking for. Okay, you've got it all together, and then the process goes, what separates out, what moves. So this is, again, this is just some random thing I put there, but this is like what I'm looking for as far as a diagram. Some people wonder if I want something complicated. Now, a flow chart is fine, but you don't have to be. Don't feel yourself limited to it. If you want to do something grand, go for it. If you want to do something interactive, sure, whatever. But it needs to fit here, right there. Sorry, right there, right there, right there, right there. Make sure it goes there. Okay, that's it. That is the recycling factory. Yes, this is a bit of a brain wrinkler. This will take a lot of thought on your part. I mean, there's a lot of different materials, and you know you have to be careful whether you melt things, burn things. Um, so you know, it's good luck. Do your best. Remember, you have these materials, and you have these tools. Tools. These are your tools, and then these are the materials you need to separate out. Good luck. Don't give up, and remember, anything is better than nothing. Cheers.